Chair now recognizes Ms. Luna from Florida.
Administrator Criswell, nice to see you again. Up here, sorry. Yeah, thanks. You came to my district when we were impacted. Before I get to some questions that I have from my constituents, I did have a question in regards to the investigations that you have into Marnie Washington. So she went on CNN and she had stated that under the practice of avoidance and de-escalation, that was what she was using, what her supervisor was using in order to politically discriminate. My question for you is, she also stated that her supervisor, Chad Hershey, had directed her not to help politically hostile Americans, aka anyone who, in their opinion, had Trump signs. My question for you is, were you aware of that, and has Chad Hershey been fired, or is he under investigation currently?
I understand that Mr. Hershey was in her supervisory chain, but that is part of now the ongoing investigation.
If you find that he directed her to, and I assume that you guys will be talking with her directly, but if you find that, are you committing that he's going to be fired?
I will commit that anybody who has taken actions to politically discriminate against people that were impacted by this disaster will have the appropriate disciplinary action to include termination.
Okay, and then she also had stated on that same interview that this wasn't just isolated in Florida, but under that same de-escalation and avoidance guideline from your field manual that also happened in North Carolina and Georgia. Are you aware of this? And in your estimates, roughly how many people have been impacted? She also stated that there should be incidents reports in regards to FEMA, that we should request them, but I assume that you were looking into that. So if you can just follow up on that.
Yeah, we will certainly follow up on that. But again, our policies in nowhere talk about proactively discriminating against areas where they feel that there might be something harassing.
Tracking, sorry, I just have to move on because we have time here. My next question is that in regards to your investigation, Marnie Washington stated that after she was terminated that she still had access to her portals and the cases that she had filed. And because of that, she was actually able to see that FEMA was going through and deleting information in regards to the cases that she had specifically handled. Now, I understand that when people leave, sometimes things have to be terminated, but if you do have an ongoing investigation, my question is, why would you then want to delete information? Because then you wouldn't be able to adequately conduct a conclusive investigation.
I have no information that we have deleted anything, as stated by Ms. Washington. Even if something was deleted, it's all part of a permanent record, and we have access to it.
Okay, then I would advise, if you are tracking, that you should go, because she's saying that she physically saw that information was deleted out within 24 hours of her firing. I have one more question, but I'm going to get to some constituent questions, so please answer these quickly. In Pinellas County, where we were hit, we had actually 13 deaths during the first hurricane, but the county has currently had only one DRC and has requested a second DRC with no success. What is FEMA's process for approving additional DRCs when they're requested?
We work closely with the state director of emergency management and the county to determine the best place for those. I can follow up with your staff on specifically why we haven't put a second one.
Okay, and we are requesting additional help just because of the amount of claims that we have for that area, so we are going to be following up. Please assist with getting that additional. The second thing is, what is the status of FEMA's flood mitigation assistance program?
The NFIP program has seen a significant amount of claims as a result of Hurricanes Helene and Hurricane Milton. As you will see in the supplemental request, we are asking for debt relief for the National Flood Insurance Program so we can continue to pay on those claims. To date, I believe the number is somewhere over $800 million that we have paid out in response to Hurricanes Helene and Milton, but we will quickly run out of funding from that fund without the debt relief, and we'll have to go to the Treasury and ask for additional funding to pay those claims.
Okay, so if you get that funding, you guys will be able to essentially ensure that recovery and resiliency grants for all the counties impacted will be received. If you get the money,
for claims against the NFIP,
correct,
with the debt forgiveness, we can pay those claims.
Okay. My last question for you is in regards to community trends. Marnie Washington had alleged that that was what was put into a system that would mitigate these interactions if they felt that it was dangerous. And these communities, a lot of them were conservative and Trump supporters, that they felt that FEMA had created an environment that had stated that those people had made them feel uncomfortable, and that was the reasoning for them passing over these homes. What can you tell me about community trends in regards to this allegation that you made?
Our disaster survivor assistance teams, part of what they do is go out into the community to understand what the impacts are and to understand what the survivor needs are. This is often called community trends, but things that we are looking at are impacts to access, roads that are out, water infrastructure, needs of the community, like many places around South Carolina required oxygen bottles.
If I can just interrupt you real quick, how many people have been impacted by avoidance and de-escalation? Do you have a number for that just nationally, or? Is there a database for that?
I can tell you that for this particular incident, at the direction of our employee, 20 homes were skipped.
Okay. All right, thank you for your time. Chairman?